unbeatable, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable.
I am unbeatable. Couple minutes left score. Every time they want to clash, the winners kicking through the door. I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stock, and we're running out the clock. I fail once, never stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah.
It's Friday night, which means it's a British Basketball League 1-2. A doubleheader means it's time to double screen. The Sheffield Sharks welcome the London Lions to their new arena. I'm in two places at once. You can join me now over on Sky Sports. Tip-off for that one is just over 15 minutes away, but stay right here for Newcastle against Leicester. And last season, the Riders took the honours in the league 3-1. Calling this one is Tahir Hajat and Surrey head coach Lloyd Gardner.
Thank you, Jeanette, and welcome to the Virtu Motors Arena for British Basketball League Championship action. The Newcastle Eagles welcome once again the Leicester Riders, due to be an exciting encounter. And joining me tonight is head coach of the Surrey Scorchers, Lloyd Gardner, in the building, sir. Look, last time it was an exciting night out. Are we looking for the same tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Two of the biggest names in the British Basketball League. Two teams a bit inconsistent at the start of the season, so both need a win.
Well, as you said, inconsistency is the situation, but 4 losses in a row, that's consistent for the Newcastle Eagles, and they'll want that to change. The starting 5 for them this evening: McGill, Whitfield, Jordan Johnson, one of the league leading scorers, number 22, Mr. Malcolm Delpesh, and number 55, the highlight reel, Taj Green. That's the starting 5 for the Newcastle Eagles this evening. Starting for the Leicester Riders, it's the same lineup we've seen in previous games: Myron Thomas, Xavier Pinson, number 5, Caleb Asprey, Jaron Holmes, and the centre, number 23, Braylon Bridges. Leicester Riders without TJ Lal tonight through injury. But of course, we're going to be having a look at some players. Let's take a quick look at the man himself, the human highlight reel, Taj Green.
Yeah, absolutely. Big performer for Newcastle, big performer. Last time out in that loss to the London Lions, 23 points. But the big thing for Taj Green, he fouled out in just 33 minutes. How that may have been different if he had been able to stay on the floor a little bit longer through the overtime.
And now we take a look at the Leicester Riders captain. 16 points in his last outing against the Eagles.
Yeah, you know, Kimball McKenzie, he comes off the bench, 4th in the team for minutes, but 2nd in scoring. A real, you know, a guy that when he plays well, Leicester play well.
Well, it's time to take a break, and we'll be back with you very shortly to get this game underway.
Back to 7, and oh, Sharma! Have mercy!
Yeah, Anderson needs to heave it from miles out. Oh, Jamal Anderson, are you kidding me?
And he knows it. He's big smile, rainbow shot right at the last second.
Great pass, but even better defense.
Oh my goodness! That one would have been a highlight reel.
Just like baby, I've been joining forces with the likes of an A-team, jumping off of buildings
Thomas on the baseline.
I'ma need the off-white. Last camera action, we ready to roll. All right, places, everybody, let's put on a good show. Big time.
Well, it's showtime here at the Virtu Motors Arena. There he is, head coach Mark Stoutel. Is he under pressure at this moment in time, Lloyd Garner?
I hope not. You know, it's been an awful run of games for Newcastle. We were talking about before coming on air, you know, real tough run for them at the moment. Face Leicester for the second time in short succession. They play them again in a couple of weeks. So, you know, these two teams will know each other well before Christmas. That is for sure. And as we said, you know, two big names in British basketball. We don't talk about these two teams being inconsistent starters very often in this league.
Well, you just saw pictures there of Rob Paternostro. He now knows how to turn around negative views on his teams, and it's quite simple. You just get wins. And both teams will be looking to try and get back to winning ways. Of course, the Riders lost their last outing off a back-to-back against the Manchester Giants, but it's clean slate for both teams. They've both had a bit of rest, and we're ready to go head-to-head. And once again, another rivals clash between the Eagles and the Leicester Riders, with the Eagles winning first possession of the game. Here is Whitfield, and then off to Del Pesh, who he's going to drive strong to the right hand and rebounded.
Solid first possession for Newcastle, though. Got into Del Pesh's hands. Their shots he can make. I think they'll be happy with that. It's this end of the floor for Newcastle. I think they'll have the real focus, though.
Pinson. And that's knocked away just on cue, Lloyd, as Johnson drives, hands it off to Taj Green. He wasn't quite sure whether he was going to take the layup or dish it off. Newcastle have kept possession, though, as Johnson looks inside the paint. Now Taj Green, he's going to look at the mid-range here, off the side of the iron, rebounded by Bridges. Mr. Holmes, left-hand side of the floor. Driving hard on the hip of the defender. Ball rotation here, quick to find Holmes. Wide open three, almost. Is rebounded by Green.
Yeah, good ball movement from Leicester, got a good look. Holmes, one of their better outside shooters. Be pleased with that.
Oh, a nice pass from Johnson. Couldn't quite connect with Del Pesh there, and out of the gate, a little bit sloppy.
Yeah, I think, as we said, you know, both inconsistent from both teams. I think Leicester, you know, perhaps a little unfair on them. They'd won 4 in a row. They got the loss against Manchester on a doubleheader. So frustration for them, but they'll be looking to get back to winning ways. As we said, for Newcastle, been playing well, but haven't been able to get over the hump in the last couple of weeks.
And here's Pinson. He's having it knocked out of his hands. Referee pointing in the direction of the Riders as the ball skipped across to Holmes. Driving along the baseline, trying to find room now. Kicks it out, 3 ball. And that's good to go on the buzzer. Nice work for the Riders.
Both teams kind of slow in the half court right now. Not what we expect from either team. So 3-point shooting will be a big one. Thomas is, you know, it said Holmes got a good one. Thomas is another guy that can make them as well.
Yeah, Myron Thomas is having a good start to the season. A couple of shaky games to start, and then start to find his own as he deflects the ball out of bounds there.
Yeah, just too much hesitation from Newcastle. Whitfield, we said 3-point shooting. He's a great 3-point shooter. Hesitated a couple of times, tried to find the pass, and now it's a low clock as Leicester slip into this zone that they do sometimes on the sideline out of bounds.
Jordan Johnson, deep 3 for him. And there's the return. Del Pesh cleaning up.
Oh, you need some energy. You want to get up and down. That's a good way to start. And look at the way it lifts the defense.
Now McGill in transition. He'll kick it to the corner. Ball rotation, find the open man, Whitfield. And that shot is a little bit short. Not quite sure what to make of Whitfield as Leicester give up possession once again. Johnson to Green and swapped it away. Braylon Bridges.
That's the game that Newcastle want, though. Get in the open floor. But the thing is, when you don't take the opportunities, this is what happens going the other way.
Pinson with the response now. Don't give up on the play. Riders get it back. They'll knock down the next triple.
You see it so often. You know, Newcastle had the opportunity, 2 chances to score, don't take them, and they're punished the other way. Pinson with the 3.
Well, as I was mentioning about Devin Whitfield, you know, he has the ability to knock down the 3. He's a great 3-point shooter. He's not been prolific in this Newcastle team. Seems to be finding his role here.
No, absolutely. He's the guy that's there to stretch the floor. They haven't shot it as well as I don't think they would have liked, as Pinson's going to go back-to-back.
Another big triple for the Riders. Pinson back-to-back 3s. Good to go.
Oh, he had a big game against Manchester. It was a defeat, but he played one of his better games. You know, this Newcastle offense just isn't right there in the early stages yet. A couple of deflected passes, we said. Chance to get out in transition. They haven't been able to take it, and Pinson has been the man to punish them.
Eagles do have it. Newcastle Eagles, the third worst three-point shooting team in the league at 27.8%. Riders are the fourth best in the league with 37.1%. They're gonna need that to change tonight. The Eagles only shot 25% from three-point territory against the London Lions in their last matchup as Thomas fires up another one, and Riders feeling the hot hand. Of course the timeout's going to be called. They've silenced this Virtu Motors Arena. 4
threes already, 2 for Thomas, 2 for Pinson. And you said, you know, Newcastle, a team that hasn't shot it particularly well, this is not the start that they want. You know, after the momentum of that great performance against London during the week, you felt like maybe that was them turning the corner. But right now, frustrated. That's the way the ball, they're not moving the ball. They haven't taken opportunities in the early stages. Coach Stutel's had to burn an early timeout.
And those early timeouts can hurt you going into the latter stages of this first half. I mean, he'll be getting his team together, talking about tactics, talking about strategy. How can we, you know, we've had some second chance opportunities here. Got to put the ball in the basket. Let's listen in. I think we can.
This time coming out, we're in punch. We're in punch, okay? Again, let's run it. Let's get Rick.
He's calling over the punch action. Setting up his team here because they need a guaranteed score.
Yeah, punch often it goes to the inside, so yeah, you can see him drawing up, little screen for the screener action, probably look for a post-up to get something going to the basket. Some changes have been made. You've got Larry Austin coming in, trying to lift that tempo a little, but this is not the start that Newcastle wanted. Just energy more than anything. As you said, it's not tactical. Right now, they're not at the level they need to be. It's been a sloppy couple of minutes for them.
Coming off the back of that overtime loss against the London Lions, you know, we spoke about this before the broadcast, and you know, there are positive points to take from that match.
Yeah, and this is early stages. We're 4 minutes in. You know, there's plenty of time for Newcastle. They won't be worried yet, but it's just, I think, disappointing that they've given themselves a hole they've now got to claw out of just through a lack of energy, through a lack of, you know, execution more than anything.
It's funny because my times in junior basketball coaching, it was always that 1 or 2 quarters where you give yourself a mountain to climb, and it was too tall, and you know, at the end of the game, you're just ruining those decisions.
And it's not really the offense they want. We said the punch players to get it to the inside. Ball didn't go inside the three-point line, but this is what they can do: get steals, see if they can finish early play.
Transition, it's out to Taj Green for 3, and it bounces out for him. He actually started that last London Lions game with 3 out of 3 from behind the arc. It's not quite going straight the way he wanted to, as Myron Thomas is going to work here against McGill. Persistence is key, gives him the too small side.
Newcastle, and the frustration is when you don't get the offense ticking over, it often leads to mistakes on the defensive end. I think we're seeing that from them again here.
Whitfield. And a fight for possession. Pinson, he's kept it alive here. Holmes now, he's driving to the right hand. Holmes finishing it off is Caleb Asprey, and Riders are running riot here at the Virtu Motors Arena. And they're going to give a technical warning here for Asprey.
And the biggest thing, this will cause the timeout to be called. They wouldn't have been able to get this if the referee hadn't stopped the game. So big mistake from Asprey, really handling the ball.
Well, let's take that break right now. 4:48 on the clock, 2-16, the Leicester Riders in the league.
Hey, it's Taj Green here at Crep City, Newcastle. Let's go shop and see what I find, but it's gonna be on Newcastle Eagles budget. I always wanted to hoop in these, but I feel like that'd be too heavy for me. There's always been a connection with basketballs and sneakers. I feel like, you know, it started with Jordan, and I feel like now just with the fashion and shoes, and it's worldwide. The best player to ever touch a basketball, behind me. This gonna describe my whole team in one. Teamwork. If you think about it, we got a team full of players, real fast, athletic. This is Darius Defoe, man. He about business. if I could pick a shoe from this table, the Pandas, you know, you can wear those with anything. Like, I can fit in with anything. I just feel good, you know, being on the court because I'm still blessed to be able to play. And it's only year 2, so I feel like it's more years to come.
Well, there'll be some very happy viewers in the Midlands right now as Leicester Riders have a very strong lead.
All working for Leicester right now. They're going to come with a bit of a press. They've used some 2-3 zone to see if they slip back into that. But Newcastle, they just need a score somewhere.
Jordan Johnson opting to get inside, and there it is, the first 2 points. We actually spoke about this in the timeout break. If you're not one of the strongest three-point shooting teams, why continue to shoot the 3?
And the big thing, Jordan Johnson went out. Obviously, Coach Stutzel frustrated. He's brought him back already, so they've gone through lineups, and that's the response that you want. We said it's still early. Jordan Johnson has arguably been Newcastle's best player this season, and that's what they want from him.
And now out in transition, McGill, it rolls off the side of the rim. A little unlucky there, but a foul has been called.
It is unlucky, but you've got to finish those opportunities. You know, Ricky McGill, he's such a good player. He's not going to miss those. They've gone with the 3-guard lineup now. McGill, Austin, and Johnson together, but you know, it's a wide open layup. Ricky McGill is too good for that.
Without a doubt. You know, if there's anything I could really say on it, he just probably didn't attack it with enough angle. He was underneath the hoop while he was trying to make it.
I was just trying to figure out who the foul was on. There was a foul called on the rebounding. I thought it was against Thomas over the back of Austin, looking at it. But no, they're going to put McGill at the line, so maybe we take it all back. Is that McGill at the line for 2?
No, it is.
Yeah, so Ricky McGill, we take it all back. He was obviously fouled. That's why he missed the layup. It has to be. I mean, there's no way he's going to miss an easy one like that. That's what we were saying.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to let you know very shortly who that foul is going to be on as he misses his first free throw. And that's not what you want. You know, you've just smoked a layup, and then the next thing you get a chance to redeem yourself on a questionable call from our standpoint. And
yeah, but the positive is, you know, he's got a chance to get himself going. For a team that's struggling for points from the free throw line, you get a chance to score. You can set the defense now. So a lot of positives. McGill gets it to go in. You know, now he's a guy that can make things happen on this defensive end.
Newcastle see the ball go through the hoop. As McKenzie now calls the offense. Now, both players flashing high to the elbow. Thomas crossing over, and yeah, a foul is called there against Taj Green, taking a swipe at that.
Fouls, so important. We talked about Taj Green needing to stay on the floor for this Newcastle Eagles team. You know, he's such a versatile player on that front line, and Leicester are a team, you know, that really do such a good job controlling fouls. They don't get guys in foul trouble. They don't put you on the line to get easy points. And you can see, you know, Newcastle, how often they've already had to go to the bench. That's a bad sign for Coach Stutzel that he's rotating through so many players early on.
Well, I guess the positive for the Eagles today is that Will Neighbours back into the lineup. He wasn't obviously playing against London Lions. So adds a little bit of size and a little bit more depth to their roster. I can confirm that the foul was actually called on Xavier Pinson earlier on.
Yeah, and the thing that Neighbour does is he adds to three-point shooting. You know, he's an exceptional three-point shooter when he has his feet set, can space the floor, just gives him a different look, playing the 4 position now alongside Darius Defoe. But a bit more size to get to match up against Thomas, just a different look for him. And it's Leicester are going to make some changes as well.
Samuel Odowu is also into the game. He's been great coming off the bench for the Riders. Mo Walker now, as we see his minutes increase throughout the season.
Yeah, this is the interesting one. Without TJ Law, they've been playing him as almost a small ball 4 at times, Leicester. So changing the lineup here. I don't think Walker and Odowu have played a lot together during the course of this season.
Offensive foul has been called here. And it's been called on, I believe, Jordan Johnson. Let's take a quick look at that. The hesitation. And there's the arm, the extending arm. Caleb Asprey letting him know. I wonder if he's mic'd up again today. Now I mean, that would have divided viewers really to hear that level of intensity and that kind of language, but that's what it's like on the court.
Well, it'd be interesting to see if there's any spice in this game from it, because it was from this game last time, and you can see Jordan Johnson trying to be physical with him, both ends, and he's picked up 2 quick ones. That's a big worry for Newcastle there. We said, you know, Johnson's been really good for Newcastle so far in this season.
Leading scorer for them. They have 18.2 points per game coming from him. It's a real important piece to their puzzle. And now sideline possession as Asbury has it. It's Mackenzie who's going to attempt to use the screen from Walker. In fact, Mo Walker's going to fire up a triple. And it would have been pretty worrying if that fell in. McGill now with Neighbour. Larry Austin Jr. rises to the wing. He drives baseline. Caught in a trap. Neighbour gets the defender in the air. Defoe's going to take it from the elbow. And that's pretty automatic for the big man.
Yeah, he likes that sort of shot, doesn't he? But that's the threat of Will Neighbour, stretching the floor. He's the one that creates the advantage with the little fake to get his man in the air.
Well, I'm getting a little bit of insight here because, of course, I've got Surrey Scorchers head coach with me tonight, Lloyd Garner. I've got Rob Paternoster with me tomorrow in a double header of action. And a little later on, after the game kind of continues, I'll explain how Lloyd's emotions are body language-wise here in the booth, because he's definitely putting himself in the coach's shoes as the foul has been called here. I mean, it's hard not to, right? So passionate about the game, and you know what they're going through.
Yeah, absolutely. Another foul called. It's Mackenzie. Doesn't like it. I like this from Newcastle, though. You know, we said they kind of bailed out early on, I think. Shot too many threes too early without exploring, without trying to get something at the basket. We've seen, you know, more of an emphasis on them, on being aggressive. Yes, Johnson's picked up the fouls, but this is Larry Austin's game. This is where he's really difficult to guard. Getting to the basket, causing problems. So I think that is the DNA of Newcastle. They've got to do it. Force Leicester to stop them. Force the referees, you know, to make these calls, because now they're getting to the free throw line, as we talked about. You know, you get some momentum going. You see the ball going in. You can set the defense. Newcastle will come with a bit of pressure after this, I'm sure. And so often we see them getting success from steals.
This is the second free throw there. Mackenzie now commanding the offense. Horns action. Screen from Idowu. Walker comes across from his side. Screen's rejected. Walker back to basket, knocks over Will Neighbour. And a technical foul. Flop. Technical foul has been given on Will Neighbour.
On the previous possession, Defoe went down, and I'm not sure if that was when they were given the warning. So Neighbour goes down, trying to draw the charge.
Well, I would say that the Samata type of Will Neighbour is slightly more slender to the strength of Mo Walker. So I would see the reason for him hitting down, but let's take a look. Yeah, I think he went down a little too easy there, Lloyd.
Yeah, do you know what? I have lots of issues many times with the contact that's created and the judgment on that contact. But yeah, I got to say I agree on that one. You know, he went down too easy. You know, Will's obviously given up a lot of size to Mo Walker. Knows if you let Walker get deep in the lane, he's such an efficient finisher. So, you know, the decision he makes is to try and stop him early by going down. Referee called his bluff that time, though.
Sideline possession. Double staggered screen there from the Riders to get Mackenzie open. He drives to the right, fade away, mid-range shot. That's tough.
That's where he's so good, Kimball Mackenzie. And those pull-ups, you know, he's not exceptionally athletic, but just seems to be able to elevate and get the shot over the defense.
Austin Jr. weaving his way, and just as you said, Coach Garner, straight to the left hand, the finish and one.
Even though it's not the game plan, as much as, you know, we said Jordan Johnson has been so good for Newcastle in the early stages, sometimes plays like the fouls, it helps you as a coach, because, you know, Newcastle have got this guard rotation. They're trying to find the rhythm for Larry Austin. They're trying to find the rhythm for Ricky McGill. They're trying to find it for Jordan Johnson as well. And now, you know, there's no choices now. Jordan Johnson's gone to the bench. You're not going to see him until probably midway through the next quarter at the best. So this is Larry Austin's team. This is Larry Austin's game. He can play. So, you know, Jordan Johnson knows he's going to have to sit there and watch. But more importantly, Larry Austin knows now he can play. He's free to get up and down the floor. He's free to be the primary guy, which arguably he's not been because of the strong play from Jordan Johnson. So don't expect, you know, don't be surprised if Larry Austin has a big first half here, getting downhill and getting to the basket.
Well, there's the three-point play compete for Larry Austin Jr. McKenzie uses the screen from Idowu. Washington's on the court, but Idowu, quick three, will fire it from me. He can knock them down, but that was a forced shot.
Yeah, you've got to guard him at all times. You know, Sam Idowu, exceptional three-point shooter. See Washington coming in. He's going to take this this challenge of guarding Larry Austin.
Neighbor knocks down the three for the Newcastle Eagles. Big triple.
Game changer, Will Neighbor coming in. Got the fake and go to get Defoe to jump, and now the three.
Well, the Eagles closing the gap on the Riders here. Washington, left-hand side. Mo Walker's set his feet. Defoe's moved him out of position. Riders look across to the other side. McKenzie fires up the three, gets his own rebound, guarded by Neighbor. Skipped across to Washington. Another triple for the Riders. It doesn't go down. Will Neighbor with the rebound.
Three-point shooting's the difference early on. You know, they made so many, didn't they? They made their first 4 threes. Now they've got a little bit cold, and Larry Austin's had to go out. I think he's bleeding. Got hit in the mouth there, you can see, and that's a big loss.
Well, you did say, you know, he's not going to worry about sitting down, but now he's taken one hit. He's got, this is the rules. Now you've got to sit down.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be back at the start of the next quarter. Oh, this is a different lineup for Newcastle.
Yeah, McGill, Ward, Hibbert, Whitfield. It's balanced. Neighbor. Fade away, jumper for him. Will Neighbor, hand in his face, knocking it down.
That's what he can do. What a loss he was against London. You know, Will Neighbor is a guy, like I say, he's just such a different player than the other guys for Newcastle. Can play with anyone in their front line as well.
Jaron Holmes. Clock winding down here, 9 seconds on the shot clock. Trying to find Mo Walker. Defoe's doing a great job of keeping him out of position, but Holmes driving, trying to fight for it. Can't get it, Defoe. Eagles will have this last possession of the quarter, a vital one for them.
Space out. McGill's got a mismatch against the Idowu here.
And a pause in play here. We need to see across that side of the court. Camera opens up and referee's pulled up. It's all happening. Oh, look at this. Calf strain. You know what? There's no fourth officials here, by the way, Lloyd Garner. I don't think we can have a replacement referee.
That's not a good one either.
No,
very comfortable.
I'll be honest with you, this is the first time that a referee has had to actually withdraw from a game, even in my experience of in-house announcing. What about you? Have you ever had this before, Lloyd?
Not that springs to mind, no. So Ian McDonald it is that's gone down. Hopefully he's okay. I mean, we laugh and choke, but obviously injuries from anyone. You know, the board, it was out of picture for us. The board was a little, you know, put back. So I wonder if he was running the floor and kind of stepped back onto it. They are close. And that's frustrating for Newcastle. Newcastle had the mismatch with McGill having the ball, guarded by Idowu. They're waiting it out. He was going to attack him, and now they're going to have to bring it in from the sideline. So frustrating for them.
Well, our reports from the arena is that it actually stepped on a slippy spot and it has gone down. So there it is being cleaned up. And the crowd keeping engaged in this one with 6 seconds on the clock. It's now a 4-point game. However, it wasn't looking too pleasant early on in this quarter, Coach Lloyd.
No, and it's been really interesting. We'll talk about a quarter break. The second units for both teams, you know, Newcastle, that second unit for them has been exceptional, really changed the game. You know, Defoe and Neighbor in the front line, Larry Austin coming in as well. Now you see it, you know, the bench points are just dominated by Newcastle right now.
Well, 7 points personal for Myron Thomas, 6 points for Pinson. For the Eagles, Will Neighbor, those 5 points coming off the bench have been really key.
Yeah, I think back to just a week ago when we played Leicester, it was their second unit that really kind of turned the game against us. Washington and Mackenzie in the backcourt. Adowu came in on the front line as well, and those three were big additions that really kind of changed the game in the third quarter for Leicester. So interesting today, that second unit for Leicester hasn't worked. Newcastle, are the ones that have taken advantage, as you said. Neighbour being the leader of that.
Well, the referee,
good to see.
It's back to go. Love-hate relationship between referees, players and coaches, but we need them to run this game, so we love him for the moment. While he's gone down, he's back in the action. I'm sure they'll be calling for something as McGill drives here to be the buzzer and can't quite get the finish, and that's the end of the first quarter. 16-20, it's been eventful, and we'll be back with more right after the break.
Back to 7, and oh, Sharma! Have mercy!
Yeah, Anderson needs to heave it from miles out. Oh, Jamal Anderson, are you kidding me?
And he knows it. He's big smile, rainbow shot right at the last second.
Great pass, but even better defense.
Oh my goodness! That one would have been a highlight reel.
Just like baby, I've been joining forces with the likes of an A-team. Jumping off a building,
nice pass inside. Thomas on the baseline.
I'ma need the off-one. Lights, camera, action, we ready to roll. Alright, faces, everybody, let's put on a good show. Big time.
Mark Schutel getting some rehydration after what was a testing first half for him.
Yeah, I mean, testing first 5 minutes, wasn't it? But after that, Newcastle seemed to have found their rhythm with the second unit, though, playing a lot better.
Well, here come the Riders now. Mackenzie, mid-range, that's rebounded by Ward Hibbert into the hands of McGill. And he slows things down. Take a look at the floor as Whitfield allows Neighbour to rise off the screen from Defoe. Looking to try and get Neighbour open here, but Whitfield has possession. Here he is in the paint. Mismatch with Mackenzie. Nice pass inside to Whitfield, and he'll get the easy finish at the rim.
Neighbour got the switch against Mackenzie. The eyes were kind of on him. That's how Whitfield was able to get open. This lineup here doesn't have a lot of dribble creativity for Newcastle.
Washington fires up another three for the Riders. Defoe, big pass ahead. Whitfield looks like he was about to throw it down, but just ran out of gas at the rim, but it's 2 points.
But if you don't have dribble creativity, don't dribble. Just throw it over the top and do a layup. Perfect play for Newcastle.
Well,
Good work.
we now have a tied game, and we were not expecting that after the first few minutes of this game. The Eagles have battled valiantly to get themselves back into it, and now the Riders trying to find a way to score. Adowu, he gets the nice little float inside for two.
Leicester have had these patches where they've struggled to score. They did it in the third quarter against Manchester. Manchester took a big lead. They actually did it third quarter against us, but we weren't able to capitalize as well. Seems like they've had it here at the start of the second and the end of the first as well.
Oh, and sportsmanlike foul has been called here. The referee called on Will Neighbour for the elbow against Kimball Mackenzie. Let's see if we can get a replay of this. And see what happened. Let's look there, and Neighbour there battling for position, and it was that left elbow. Fighting for it. He keeps going with it on the right there. Then Mackenzie knows you've got to make a bit of a meal out of that for the referee to be able to see it. He does the job. You know, Neighbour is trying to fight for position there. I don't feel like he needed to use his elbow in that manner. Now Mark Stutel.
He's gone. Technical foul and an unsportsmanlike because he got a technical for flopping as well.
Oh, yeah, so it's a disqualification. He actually has to leave the arena now. Will Neighbour. Coach Garner on the ball now. Totally forgot about his flopping technical, and that's going to change everything because Will Neighbour was the player that, in fact, got Newcastle back into this position.
Yeah, I mean, he's been the mismatch problem for Leicester. They haven't known how to guard him. You know, he's really created that spark. So nothing going for Newcastle. They've Jordan Johnson with foul trouble. They lose Larry Austin to the blood injury, and now Will Neighbour to the the 2 calls as well.
Would you say that was a little careless from Will Neighbour?
Yeah, it's hard. You know, I know it's been around a couple of years, that rule, but it still catches you every time. You know, especially when it's such an innocuous, technical foul as it was just for the flopping.
Blake Bowman's into the game is stripped by McGill. McGill looks to the corner. Whitfield. He's driving onto his left hand, kicks it out. Josh Ward-Hibbert fires up the 3, back of the iron. Fight for the rebound. Mackenzie, Riders pushing forward here. 3v3 in transition. Swiped away at the rim by McGill. Ward-Hibbert looking ahead now. Frantic play here. Whitfield. That's off his fingertips, out of bounds for a Riders ball.
Newcastle love to push the tempo. They like to go fast, but they've got to capitalise when they do it. You know, they had a 2-on-1, they had guys down the floor. You can't turn the ball over in that situation. After you've been against it, haven't you? They've got a shot down one end. You get a good stop in transition. The last thing you can do is turn it over.
Substitutions checking in for the Leicester Riders. Xavier Pinson, Caleb Asprey back onto the floor, almost back to their starting lineup. Owen Thomas back into the game.
And this is the lineup. Well, Bowman's in, but apart from that, this is the lineup that played really well early with these 3 in the backcourt together.
Here's Bowman now looking for Dowu. He's going to set the screen here on McGill. Pinson tries to keep the defender on his hip, and a kickball violation. He kind of wanted to snake that action, but realised Defoe had come across and couldn't quite get there.
Defoe's got good, quick hands. You see him there. He's always reaching in. You know, he gets a good strip there. I'm surprised Adowu didn't pop, to be honest. That's where Defoe's going to have his worries, trying to get out to Sam Adowu on the pick-and-pop action. See if Leicester try to go to that. If I'm Newcastle, I've got to be getting Larry Austin back into the game pretty soon here. Said, I think he's going to have a big game. You know, you're without Johnson already.
Now McGill fires up a 3 from deep, and that goes down. 1-point game, 23-24. McGill trying to find his feet.
Well, McGill hasn't been consistent finishing the ball. You know, he's played in the league previously. He was really good when he was at Plymouth. You know, defensively, he's an absolute terrier on the ball. But he's got to get that 3-point shot going like he is there.
Flare screen to get Caleb Asprey open. Thomas screens and finds himself into the paint, and that's stripped away again by McGill.
And that's what McGill does right there. Look, he wants to find somebody who's free.
McGill slows things down. Didn't want to catch Defoe on the trail. Whitfield, one-on-one with Pinson. He's going to go to work. Whitfield now trying to find Taj Green in desperation. Can't quite do that. Blake Bowman, he's going to drive, use the Euro step to the right hand, and inside again, Blake Bowman. He's got the athleticism to finish.
He should be called Euro step Blake Bowman. I've never seen someone so good in those long steps. He always seems to use them. He gets all the way to the rim, didn't finish it first time, gets it back.
McGill driving again, and that's Bowman knocking that away. A foul is called, and Idowu, as he just brings his body across.
It was Asprey, I think, on the drive before.
Let's take a quick look at that. He's gone here. Then it's Idowu.
You're right. It is Idowu. Yep.
Bumping across. Not really set his feet there. Taking him on side on and just allowing too much contact. And Bowman there in that last play, he actually hesitated in his attempt to attack the basket when really head down. We know that's what he's good at, and that's what he brings to this team.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to see him out there. Such a young prospect getting, meaningful minutes for this Leicester Riders team. No, really taken a step forward this year, and as I said, like, just great to see him out there.
And if you haven't watched Blake Bowman in action before, he came through the Derby Trailblazers program in the Midlands. You know, had a prolific career in the NBL Division 1, high scorer, 20 plus points per game. Then made the move over to the Riders last season, and this year we're seeing him get more minutes.
Yeah, natural progression, year experience under his belt. Coach Paternostro using him more and more in his second season.
Pinson now trying to find a pass, and there it is, a brilliant one at that. Asprey, can he collect? No, he cannot. He keeps it alive, can he? No, he cannot. Once again, it's out of bounds.
Well, here's one for you. The Leicester Riders, did they make their first 4 threes? The first 12 points were all for the 3. Now, as a team, 4 of 13. So they haven't made a 3 since those opening ones, and that's a big difference for them. You know, sorry, 4 of 14 now after the last miss, and that's been the difference. You know, they knocked him down early, they haven't knocked him down since, and now Larry Austin's back in.
Here he is, that man, Larry Austin Jr. working his way into the paint. Myron Thomas getting a hand in there, bobbles out to Taj Green, and he hits a big 3 in response. Clapping it up, getting the crowd involved, telling everybody to give him a phone call.
Great pass out from the Leicester Riders player as well. You know, a little bit of luck, but sometimes that's what you need. We said Newcastle haven't had it in the early stages with Neighbour out, with Jordan Johnson out, and now they get a bit, ball pops out, you know, tied up here, just kind of falls into the hands of Taj Green, right in rhythm to make the 3.
Well, look, this is lining up to be just as the first game was between these two teams. Of course, in the last matchup, the Leicester Riders took the victory 85-92. It was tied at the end of the first, just like it was in this game. And then the Leicester Riders kind of edged this second quarter in the previous matchup. But at the moment, it's the Newcastle Eagles putting the right foot forward.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting battle. 5 minutes in, we said, you know, long time to go, still plenty of time. Same thing here. Leicester won't be concerned. Said Leicester have gone through these little dips offensively over the course of a game. You know, often they come kind of in that third quarter for them. So, you know, I think as far as they're concerned, they'll hope just this is the lull for them in the second period. You know, they can find that momentum once more. The 3-point shooting for them is so key. As we just said, they made 4. That was their first 12 points of the game. They haven't made since, but they've had some good looks. So I think Coach Paternostro, you know, he's experienced enough, isn't he, in this league? He's won once or twice before, I think. So I think he'll be okay with where they're at right now.
Well, definitely in conversations with Coach Rob Paternostro, you know, one of his biggest duties he feels as a coach is getting his players open looks. And once he's done that part of his duty, he has full faith in his players being able to do that now.
Jordan Johnson looking like he's defending a free kick in football. The hands behind the back. Doesn't want to pick up a cheapie, and they're going to slide into a zone.
Bridges is inside there, and that's a Newcastle possession. Unlucky there. You know, hands behind the back defense reminds me of school British basketball when you're beating a lesser experienced team by 80 points and your coach says, play with your hands behind your back. But that's a very different circumstance in this game. Jordan Johnson just does not want to get any more fouls.
Yeah.
Whitfield. Austin Jr.
No clock again for Newcastle, though.
Austin Jr. makes the 3. Big time 3 for the Newcastle Eagles once again.
He looks motivated to me today. I think I'd run some things to get Larry Austin going. Looks like he's going to have a big one.
Now with Pinson. Pushes his teammate to the corner. Pinson goes to the spin, and all that contact, nothing called. He gets straight back up. Austin Jr. using the burners to the right hand, and he'll miss the layup. Can he get the offensive rebound? There it is for Green, and foul is called on the floor. And it will be a break for us at this moment in time. Newcastle rallying back, 31-26. We'll be back shortly.
Hey, it's Taj Green here at Crep City, Newcastle. Let's go shop and see what I find, but it's gonna be on Newcastle Eagles budget. I always wanted to hoop in these, but I feel like that'd be too heavy for me. There's always been a connection with basketballs and sneakers. I feel like, you know, it started with Jordan, and I feel like now just with the fashion and shoes, and it's worldwide. The best player to ever touch a basketball. Behind me. This is gonna describe my whole team in one. Teamwork. If you think about it, we got a team full of players, real fast, athletic. This is Darius Defoe, man. He about business. If I could pick a shoe from this table, the Pandas, you know, you can wear those with anything. Like, I can fit in with anything. I just feel good, you know, being on the court because I'm still blessed to be able to play. And it's only year 2, so I feel like it's more years to come.
Ready to get the second quarter back underway. The Newcastle Eagles trailed by as many as 14 points. They now lead by 5. Myself, Tahir Hadjat, alongside Coach Lloyd Garner, the Surrey Scorchers, taking you through this one. Here's Pinson in possession for the Riders. They need a response as Holmes comes over the staggered screen on the elbows. Bridges tried to find room, and Pinson now driving and one. What a move by Pinson. Delpeche, hands on his head, can't quite believe the call.
I'd like to see the replay of that one. Let's have a look. You know, Delpeche tries to go straight up. He tries not to create any contact.
It's tough because his body's turning. He's losing his balance. The referee is at a different angle. He's coming from behind Delpeche as well.
Yeah. No, it's such a tough thing, that verticality rule for the referees to get right. But credit to the move from Pinson. No, you know, he hit those 2 early threes. Been quiet since then.
Well, a miss from Pinson on the free throw line. Riders 4 for 6 on the night so far. Johnson firing up a triple again. Jordan Johnson's on the money. The Newcastle Eagles are now controlling the tempo of this game, and they're finding the fruits of their labor come to fruition.
Yeah, they handled the storm without Jordan Johnson on the floor. He has been the consistent three-point threat out of the guards, and you can't give him that much room.
Braylon Bridges inside now. He gets a good look for 2.
Sorry, Taj Green turned it over. Stepped in, good defense from Leicester.
And that means it will be a Leicester Riders ball. They'll get it back, and they'll value that possession highly. It's Pinson. Pinson across to Thomas, and that's picked away by Taj Green. Foot race to get there. Oh, and Thomas kind of cuts across his body. Taj Green clapping it up, and a little bit of a pushing action going on here. Both teams feeling the intensity. Asprey now, Taj Green. The referees will be taking a good look at this. Players need to keep their calm in this situation. It can have a vital change to the scoreline of this game. Now, Larry Austin Jr. talking it up with Asprey. This is what rivalries are all about, as long as it doesn't get out of hand. And now the referees will have to kind of bring this story together and try and assess what happens. It will get the Newcastle crowd off their feet in some parts of the arena, as the referees will begin to figure out how many technicals they throw here, Coach Lloyd Garner.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, isn't it? The big thing, there's a foul, a clear foul on Taj Green.
Not called.
You know, yeah, and you love the energy. Taj Green is the one who made the mistake. You know, he stepped over the line. I love the energy for him to get the steal, get after it. But you watch right here, that's a clear foul against Thomas, bumping Green. So that's, first of all, whether that's there or not. Taj Green has got to do a better job after this, though. You know, that's not acceptable from Taj Green.
He's lost his cool.
Yeah, exactly. And he's frustrated, I know that, but he can't do that. And Thomas then can't push as well. And then, you know, after that, we'll have a bit more as well. So it could be interesting to see, you know, really, with all the energy, Taj Green could get 2 technicals on this, for sure.
Without a doubt, and he wasn't alone in that, because afterwards, Larry Austin Jr., Jordan Johnson steamed in. Pinson was kind of in between them, trying to calm everyone down, not really saying anything. Larry Austin Jr. took a swipe at Caleb Asprey's hand as well. This is going to be very difficult for the referees to unravel here. Of course, Will Neighbour's already been out of this game after a technical for a flop, a flopping foul, which of course for those new fans means he went down without the contact being deemed to be too forceful. And then of course he got an unsportsmanlike foul for seemingly throwing an elbow to Kimball McKenzie. So let's see how the referees decipher this moment. It can't be easy because they have no video replay. They cannot have a look at a screen and watch this back like us, the viewers, can.
No, absolutely. Tough ask for them right now. You know, 3 officials have come together. They're going to talk it over. And there's a lot to it, we said, because there's this initial clash here. Then there's the push between Thomas and Taj Green. And then there's the extraction with Asprey as well.
Yeah, there's that first one. Jordan Johnson gets in the way, then gets in his face. Holmes then gets involved. Asprey gets involved. Then, yeah, Green there pushing away with the elbow for Asprey. Then he's telling the referee about it. Holmes is trying to get involved, and he's talking up to Larry Austin Jr. He's getting heated, holding back Johnson. They're talking it up. Then Asprey comes back into the screen here, and then Larry Austin Jr. takes a slap at that hand. Referee's pushing him away. Right, unsportsmanlike foul called on number 3 for the Riders, Myron Thomas. Unsportsmanlike foul called on number 55, Taj Green.
Yeah.
They cancel each other out. Technical foul called on number 5, Asprey. And that's 1 shot. There'll be 1 technical free throw. And that will be it from the referees. Mark Stuttel, hands on his face, but I can't feel like he should be the aggrieved coach here. Like, both players essentially could have been thrown out this game. Green and Thomas, both Rob Paternoster and Mark Stuttel trying to convince the referees otherwise.
So I would say this, you know, we said they haven't had the replays, and I think they've done pretty well there. The one thing, you know, Caleb Asprey to get a technical foul, even though he was kind of backing away and also had his hand slapped with no repercussions for that, maybe is the one thing.
I think
but apart from that, you know,
we couldn't really hear what they were saying,
no.
and maybe the verbal from Caleb Asprey was antagonizing.
Absolutely, but I still think there's the response for that as well. So you know, the big thing is how this is going to affect the game. For Leicester, don't forget, that's Thomas out of the game. That's 1 4-man they've already lost. Don't forget, TJ Lowe isn't there. So that means, you know, that front line for them now is Adowu, is Bridges, and is Walker only. They don't really have a small ball 4 unless they're going to go play Blake Bowman. And what a loss it is for Newcastle. They've now lost Neighbour and Taj Green, 2 guys of the same position. Well, I mean, how are they going to adjust?
Well, I mean, obviously Taj Green has stayed on the floor in this possession here. So I'm guessing he's not going to be ejected from the game, but it puts them under pressure.
I thought they called 2 unsportsmanlikes.
They do.
Oh,
so 1 unsportsmanlike
not
for
ejections.
both the players.
Yeah,
yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, so Green is still in the game.
Sorry.
He is now on tender hooks, of course, though, because anything else from him, he's gone. Same for Myron Thomas.
So I'm calling them ejections, thinking they were ejected, which, to be honest, you know,
well,
rather than unsportsmanlikes, yeah.
Oh, my goodness, how did Pinson keep his balance there? Asprey now. Oh, and a hard foul from Taj Green.
Yeah.
And this is Asprey getting excited here. This game has descended into pandemonium. This is British Basketball League, and now Asprey talking to the fans. He's going to have to go at some point.
Well, Green's gone. Green's gone. They just called a second unsportsmanlike against Green. So I was a step ahead, but he's definitely been ejected now.
This is crazy, and look, this is professional basketball. Things get heated, and are you composed enough to allow the game speaks for itself? There's a blocking foul here called on number
Johnson, so that's 3 on Johnson as well.
3 fouls called on Johnson. And, I mean, this is getting ugly here at the Virtu Motors Arena, and the unsportsmanlike called there on Taj Green. He's out of the game. He's gone, and this game has been flipped on his head, and Taj Green, he's not happy. He's going to get out, and I'm sure he's going to vent his frustrations in the changing room.
Yeah, as I said, you know, as a step ahead there, getting the unsportsmanlike and the ejections confused. But this, you know, but watch Taj Green afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, it's a silly play from him. He's got to understand where they're at.
But Asprey's reaction just as much. You know, I've seen players react less and get technical fouls for that.
The biggest assist of the game so far, Thomas, holding him back. That was the thing. So if he hadn't have got him and held him back so early, yeah, I think there could have been another technical as well.
Wow. We are not short of drama here on the British Basketball League YouTube channel. Well, if you're seeing any of this action, you picked the right game. Don't bother watching Sky Sports right now. The real ball game's right here with me and Coach Gardner. 35-30. Leicester Riders are on the line as a result of the unsportsmanlike foul, which is 2 shots.
Newcastle have got to regain their composure. Jordan Johnson's got 3 fouls. He's over there talking to the referee. They've lost Taj Green. They've lost Will Neighbour. But they've got a 5-point lead. You know, they just need to settle here, reset. They've played so well. If you take away that first 5 minutes, they've dominated this game. So they just don't want to let that change for them.
Well, it was team foul trouble also for the Newcastle Eagles. They, of course, amassed more than 4 team fouls. And now Caleb Asprey is going to shoot those fouls after the blocking foul from Jordan Johnson. You know what? I can't imagine Coach Rob Paternostro is happy with his team's demeanour also. And knowing the many teams that we've seen Coach Rob Paternostro have over the years, I have never seen anything like this. Asprey now making the ear sign to the fans. We need to get him out of this game, really, and so Rob can have a conversation with him and just get him to calm down.
Yeah, Asprey's one of those guys who lives in this situation, though, right? He loves this little bit of you know, friction. We talked about, you know, him being mic'd up last time. I think he'll thrive in this environment, but there's always the balance. You know, they need him to stay on the floor.
Now Pinson to the right hand. Bridges gets the rebound, almost is kept alive. Pinson. Now to Thomas. Seems like we've got a basketball game back. And Pinson. Now no look pass to the corner. 3 ball. Another rebound for Bridges. Inside, left hand. Hooks it in for 2. And it's a timeout called, I believe. And that possibly could be a very, very important timeout for both teams, just to let things breathe. And let us breathe.
Absolutely. You know, Braden Bridges is an exceptional finisher in the paint. You know, really, really high efficiency. When he gets the ball deep, he barely misses. So good work from him.
35-36 the score. But don't forget the action this weekend. There's lots of it. Double header coming up for you. As the Surrey Scorchers, my man, Coach Gardner, he welcomes the Manchester Giants at the Furnace, as they call it. Isn't that right, Lloyd?
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Should be a good one. Hopefully it's as exciting as this one.
less
maybe not.
technical.
I was just about to say, hopefully on our side at least, a few more players stay on the floor, though.
And then, of course, later on at 8 o'clock, Bristol Flyers will be taking on the Newcastle Eagles, who are playing a back-to-back. They'll then have to travel down south to take on the Flyers, which is a tough place to go.
So Taj Green may have run out, take his shirt off because he's already on the road to Bristol.
Oh,
Gets there early.
Yeah.
So saved his minutes for tomorrow for Coach Kaboulis and his team.
And if that's not enough travelling, joining me will be Rob Paternostro in the studio, travelling down from Newcastle all the way to London to talk us through those 2 games. Make sure you don't miss it on the British Basketball League YouTube channel. Well, now we've had a chance to mull things over.
Well, it's been entertaining, but it's taken away from this second quarter has been a pretty good quality. You know, he said outside of that start for Newcastle where they weren't really at the races, it's been a good game. You know, they've played exceptionally well. Newcastle have just found their way back in. They've enjoyed what Larry Austin's done. They enjoyed, you know, the little cameo from Will Neighbour. And now you feel like Leicester with the starters back into the game. They're a little bit more settled. Pinson was causing some problems. McKenzie got to his pull-up. So it's really setting itself up for an entertaining end to this half, going into the second. And I hope all the drama hasn't taken away from it.
Well, I know British basketball fans will be loving watching this. And we are loving it too. Here's Ward Hibbert. Larry Austin Jr. And that's out of bounds. Defoe's big toe.
But this is the thing, right? So you see Leicester have gone to the zone, and right there McGill tries to make the extra pass, but it's Darius Defoe in the corner on the three-point line. And the reason is because Will Neighbour's not in the game, and it's because Taj Green's not in the game. So this is the problem that Newcastle are going to have. They're playing these lineups together. They're not really used to playing, but they've still got to play the two bigs because Leicester are so big themselves.
Look at this man-to-man full court pressure here from the Eagles, making it tremendously difficult to get the ball in play, and Thomas has to come from the opposite side of the floor.
This is a tough matchup for Defoe, guarding Thomas on those pick and pops that we talked about.
Well, he's taken him right to the corner. The screen comes for Pinson, who looks backdoor. He does receive the possession. Can he find the next pass? Yes, he can. McKenzie off the dribble. Moves the ball to Holmes. Back to McKenzie for three, and that's a big triple for the Leicester Riders, who take their tally to 39.
McKenzie's three-point shooting way down this year on other seasons, but you can't give him space like that. Defensive breakdown.
And now McGill. You're right, this 2-3 zone. Opening up a three-point opportunity for Josh Ward-Hibbert to knock it down, the former Rider.
Well, Josh Ward-Hibbert's a guy who, you know, standstill threes, you know, usually throughout his career has been really good. So again, you know, even though you're in the zone, I don't think Coach Paternoster will be happy giving him that much time and space.
Thomas hands it off to McKenzie. Bridges sets the screen for him. Now looks to Thomas, and he's almost double-teamed. Ball has to go back out to McKenzie, who fires it up again, front of the iron this time. McGill, and no foul called there, but Larry Austin Jr. to the right hand, rebounded by Bridges. Riders will come back straight away. Thomas, wide open three. Myron Thomas on the money.
They started the half on fire from three, and it looks like they're ending it on fire from three as well.
And that's 10 points personal for him in this game. Looking down low. Defoe, veteran move.
He can do that, and this is the battle, right? We've talked about how he's giving stuff up, tough matchup on this end of the floor, but he also has the advantage on the other end. So can he make that end pay more than this end?
Holmes, Bridges, looks like he's taken one to the face here. Got to keep playing till that whistle stops and the foul is called. And that'll be 2 shots for the Riders. Bridges pleading with the officials. Jaron Holmes has actually been really quiet in this game.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick look at this though. There is Holmes, and inside here, Del Pearson, nothing in that. He's just trying to readjust his hands and hits Bridges on the face there.
Yeah, it takes a shot. Those happen in the game though. I think Bridges was, you know, thinking it was anything more than that, but obviously got a finger in the eye.
Now Holmes is on the line. Just hear the atmosphere at the Virtu Motors Arena, willing that ball to go anywhere but inside the basket, and a little bit of concussion protocol there for Bridges. Riders currently 8 for 11 from the free throw line. Now Holmes will make the second, 9 for 12. Here comes McGill, under a minute now remaining in this first half of basketball. No, we didn't start late. If you can, please scroll back and watch how this all unfolded, because it's been incredible series of an event. And nice finish there for Larry Austin Jr. Screams to the crowd.
That's what he does, Larry Austin, an exceptional offensive rebounder for a guard.
Thomas, fadeaway short jumper. Pinson tries to slap that off the backboard into his teammate's hand, but no, 4 Newcastle jerseys in the way. Larry Austin Jr. skips it across. Whitfield sits as if he was about to shoot the 3. Clock winding down. There's about 1 second between the shot clock and the game clock.
Larry Austin's getting to his right hand here. You've got to take it away.
Kicks it out. Whitfield, he needs this. He doesn't get it, and there's a rebound for Pinson. Well, what an incredible first half of basketball, not just for the basketball, but also for the events that have unfolded. And now we see McGill talking to McKenzie here. We want to talk you through this moment. Both teams will head to the locker room to let things simmer down. But right now, it's time for you to take a simmer, get a cup of tea, come back for the second half, because this is going to be a great game.
outside defense. Proving to be too much. Holds pass up. Pinson throws it down with a bit of authority there in transition.
Well, Anderson driving to the rim, jammed in on the rebound by Lawton.
Back to 7, and oh, Sharma! Have mercy!
Yeah, Anderson needs to heave it from miles out. Oh, Jamal Anderson, are you kidding me?
And he knows it. He's big smile, rainbow shot right at the last second.
Wow, great pass, but even better defense.
Oh my goodness! That one would have been a highlight reel.
Just like baby, I've been joining forces with the likes of an A-team. Jumping off a building
Nice pass inside. Thomas on the baseline.
I'ma need the off-white. Lights, camera, action, we ready to roll. Alright, faces, everybody, let's put on a good show. Big time.
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops, my man.
Well, I hope you've got your cup of tea, because we're going to take you through the events of this first half of basketball between the Eagles and the Riders. It's been eventful, Lloyd.
It's certainly been that. That's correct, yeah.
Well, of course, we've had 2 ejections from the game, but there has been basketball in between, and some great basketball as that. Let's take a quick look at the stats before we get to the highlights on your screens right now. And what jumps out on the screen for you there, Lloyd?
Probably the three-point shooting. You know, Leicester, a team that we know shoots the ball pretty well. They started 4 threes out of their first 4 baskets. So since that point, they haven't shot it exceptionally well. For Newcastle, a team that traditionally hasn't shot the 3 particularly well, this year they've done a good job, over 50% from the three-point line.
Well, earlier on in the half, of course, the rebound battle was heavily in favour of the Riders, but Newcastle's bigs and also surrounding teammates have started to settle in and claim the boards a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, take that first 5-6 minutes away for Newcastle. I think they'll be really happy with the next sort of 15-16 minutes. The big problem for them is how they can regain their focus now without without Neighbour and without Taj Green.
Well, let's see how those events unfolded here at the Virtu Motors Arena. The story of the half, and what a story it is to tell. Both teams ready for this game, but it was the Leicester Riders who were rampant from the beginning. 4 threes, 2 from Thomas, 2 from Pinson. They were firing it up from all over the floor. Here's Pinson knocking one down. And at that moment in time, it did not look like the Newcastle Eagles were going to score the ball. They were trying to shoot threes for themselves, when really what they needed to do was get to the rack, and that's kind of when the game began to change.
Yeah, it was a really disappointing start from Newcastle. Coach Stutzel went through, multiple different lineups early on, just trying to get some rhythm. He eventually found it with a really good second group for them. But we said Thomas has played really well, and it was the group when Larry Austin was on and Will Neighbour came in, he hit the 3, really did change the game.
But of course, Will Neighbour, he didn't just hit the 3, he got himself into trouble. After this fadeaway, or should I say fadeaway pass inside to Whitfield, in the next run of plays when he came down, he was trying to fight for position against Mackenzie. I think we're going to be able to see that, but Whitfield, of course, running in transition, he's having to play his role, play a few more minutes than he used to. But here's Will Neighbour ejected from the game, flopping technical foul, then fighting for position, used his elbow against Mackenzie, unsportsmanlike. Bye-bye, Will Neighbour. Then, of course, the Newcastle Eagles started to find their feet. Ricky McGill changed his fortunes from the first part of the game going into the second quarter, making some steals, making some plays, and he made the difference. Taj Green chipping in with a three-point shot as well. But of course, there was one pivotal moment when it all blew up between Taj Green and Thomas prior to this play here. Thomas bumping Green in a foot race, and then Asprey trying to get involved, trying to hype up the play. Then Taj Green wanting a little bit of revenge here. Bang! Taj Green is out of the game at this point as well. Asprey's lucky to not be tossed as well. He received a technical foul in the previous foray. Then we actually had time to have some basketball, and Myron Thomas started to get things together. He's got 11 points personal, or 14 points personal in this game. Well, I mean, it was very difficult to explain all of that. You saw the pictures for yourself on the screen, but Coach Lloyd, I mean, what can we expect from this second half? Two vital players for Newcastle out of the game.
I think that's the big thing for Newcastle. How are they going to adjust? You know, are they going to play big with Delpesh and Defoe on the floor together, or are they going to be able to play small? In the past, they've played Josh Ward-Hibbert as that small ball four. Maybe he's going to have to play a bigger role today, and how that's going to change the dynamic for Newcastle, for Leicester. Can, you know, a young Leicester team, a lot of guys fresh out of college, a lot of rookies for them. How are they going to deal with this situation? Always a big crowd in Newcastle. I'm sure they'll be fired up for this second half as well.
Well, of course, lots of unsportsmanlike technicals on the floor. Some players still on tenterhooks, but there's more action here in the British Basketball League without a doubt. But for you, the opportunity now is to look back on previous games that have taken place, starting with London Lions in action against the Newcastle Eagles on Monday.
Well, Dante Grantham tries the three-point. He can't get it. Johnson able to secure the rebound. Decker the follow-up. And Eagles come back up with it. They have numbers. Finds Defoe. One more pass, and McGill will finish it. Sharing is caring here for the Newcastle Eagles. Lions at the moment really struggling here. Oh, great question. Oh! Yes, counted. Maybe getting away with that one, but it doesn't matter because Matt Morgan, you are witnessing excellence here at the combo box. Johnson goes from no man's land. Are you kidding me? Johnson being guarded by Phillip. Tries to dish up, finds McGill, and he ties the game up at 52 apiece. Morgan going pick and roll. Simple dump down. Beautiful play there. Johnson's pick and roll with Delpesh. Good help side defense by Solowade. Lions looking extended, but Green comes out with it. Well, look out below, ladies and gentlemen.
Fumbles it initially, but he can elevate and still finish with a strong dunk.
Well, there's another pick and roll. They can extend this. McGill foul. McGill turns it over. The bounce pass was telegraphed. But now they go up here to Nelson, who pump fakes. Grantham made 1-3. Can he make another one? And he gets it to roll in. Well, great hustle by Mo Solowade. Good recovery. Morgan left wide open. 6 threes. Make it 7. Well, Morgan, they go under the screen. Another three-pointer. Are you kidding me? Got it by Larry Austin Jr. Deep three-pointer. Almost got it. Grantham puts it up. We are going to overtime. Shenny looking to take on, again, Shenny. So you kind of feel if he tries to drag through with both hands with a Eurostep, he may have got away with that. Nelson kicks out. Solowade, big three. Good night, London. Nelson penetrates, kicks out. Phillip, another big three-pointer again. The London three-pointers, they are falling into the hoop tonight. So we thank you for joining us here at the Copper Box. London Lions, they are going to remain unbeatable here in the British Basketball League as they win 109-104 against the Newcastle Eagles. Great game. She's got to get something going here. And the Giants really struggling. Stepping through, putting it up, and again, the bank is open. Green coming up to set the ball screen. Flyers looking to retake the game. The three is up. Walsh able to secure this one, throws a long pass. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness! Give these guys some credit. Again, dime time. I'll get another dime coming from Evan Walsh and another finish. And at the moment, we got a 1-2 punch here. Flyers have to put this one up. Hail Mary three's been put up, and again. Two-possession lead to the Giants. Jamel Anderson taking down the lane and just using the contact and kissing it off the bank.
And who else? He's a mismatch nightmare, and he is making Bristol feel that.
Goes in, count it, gets the and one. Well, the only foul trouble concern for the Giants is Jamel Anderson. He does have three. Well, there's a pump fake, puts up the three. The three is up.
Goodness gracious, Keith Johnson above the rim. I think he could have dunked that.
Lucas now pulls up for three, puts it up, and again, making it a 10-point ball game. Well, Giants forces the turnover against Brad Green. Stanley goes for another three-pointer. This time, Johnson goes up. The follow-in is good as Leslie Smith just cleaned it up.
Jamel Anderson, the vet, keeping Manchester in the game. That's a tough pull-up three. You see Nick Lewis clearing the glass right there, but consistency is going to be good and a tough in-and-out move.
Stanley's made 1-3, goes for another one. That's a big-time tray ball.
That's a tough shot, but he, wow.
Lewis coming off the ball screen. There's a three, he's fouled. You kind of thought that was going in, but Lucas has to make this one. Trying to tie the game up, 1:31 to go. Missed them both, but an offensive board, and the putback is good. We'll find Anderson, three is up. No good, it was on target. At the end of this one, the Bristol Flyers will leave with the victory, 91-87. Side defense proved to be too much. Holmes pass out. Pinson throws it down with a bit of authority there in transition.
Well, Anderson driving to the rim, jammed in on the rebound by Lawton. Back to 7, and oh, Sharma! Have mercy! Yeah, Anderson needs to heave it from miles out. Oh, Jamel Anderson, are you kidding me?
And he knows it. He's big smile, rainbow shot right at the last second.
Great pass, but even better defense.
Oh my goodness! That one would have been a highlight reel.
Just like baby, I've been joining forces with the likes of an AG. Jumping off of buildings with the stimulation. Never reaching new heights. I'ma need the off-white. Lights, camera, action, we ready to roll. Alright, faces, everybody, let's put on a good show. Big time.
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops, my man.
Welcome back to the Votu Motors Arena. Well, some basketball has been played, and some great basketball has been played, but we've also had a near scrape with a UFC contest here. And I'm pretty sure that boxing isn't on the menu tonight in the Virtu Motors Arena. It's basketball. But nonetheless, we have another stellar half of basketball coming up for you between the Newcastle Eagles and the Leicester Riders. It's a one-point game here. And we look forward to seeing how this all unfolds. Myself, Tahi Hadja, and Coach Lloyd Garner in the booth for this one as Jordan Johnson takes the three and is fouled by Asprey. And he heads to the line for 3 free throws. Lloyd.
Yeah, interesting. So Newcastle, I'm interested in the lineups, you know, that they're going to play with these you know, no Green, no Will Neighbour. So they've gone with Josh Ward-Hibbett as the small ball 4, which, you know, I think works pretty well for them. It means they can still keep that 3-guard lineup if they want it on the floor. Jordan Johnson hit those foul trouble in the first half. He's been held just 7 minutes. A lot of decisions for Coach Stutzel. But as we talked about, you know, it's a tight game right now, second half. That's all they need to be focusing on. They've got to put the other dramas aside.
Johnson for 2, just to edge Newcastle into the lead. If you've just joined us, leading all scorers, 13 points is Myron Thomas, 8 points from Xavier Pinson for the Riders. Leading the scoring for the Newcastle Eagles, Larry Austin Jr., who we spoke about, Lloyd, has played a great role in keeping his team in this game.
Yeah, he's got 9. You know, it's been that bench group for Newcastle really did play well. You know, Defoe came in, gave really good minutes. Austin, Neighbour. So that second group was the group that turned it around for them. They obviously can't go to it as much now here in this second half, but they still got Defoe to bring in, and Larry Austin as well.
Sideline possession here for the Leicester Riders.
Jordan Johnson's got to be careful. He's got 3 fouls, and we've already seen, you know, you don't want to get into those conversations. You don't want to get the friction or the spotlights on you, and to pick up a little cheap 4th here.
Here is Holmes. Bridges trying to find room. He does that. And that is a 3-second violation. 1 foot still in the paint. Referee seeing him try and fight for position, and because he didn't clear both feet and then come back in, has called the 3-second violation. Can't spend more than 3 seconds inside the opposition paint. Here is McGill. Screen comes across from Delpeche. Trying to throw it up there, but Bridges reads the action.
It's a tough turnover. He had him wide open. That's one Ricky McGill will want back. And he had Delpeche so clear on the roll.
Pinson, no look pass to Asprey. Nice one-handed bounce pass into Bridges. He's going to go to work, left hand for 2. And you know what? Bridges, he doesn't stuff the stat sheet. He goes about his business quietly, and he's fundamental.
If you let him get to that lefty jump hook, it is all over. You know, he is a guy that just doesn't miss a lot. Got numbers for you. He is coming into this game 23 of 26 from the field.
That's incredible efficiency. What we're looking at now, right at this moment, is Caleb Asprey being called for another foul. Not what the Riders need. And that will be, I believe, his 4th or 3rd personal foul. I'll just check that with his 4th personal. And now we won't be seeing him until the 4th quarter, as Johnson rattles in a mid-range long 2.
This is where the experience of Kimball McKenzie really comes to fruition for Riders, though. What a weapon he is to bring in off the bench. And I'm able to play 1, the 2 alongside Pinson at the moment.
Pinson, what another pass from him. Thomas can't get that 3 to go, but Pinson is in his bag when it comes to passing the ball at this moment. McGill, Johnson, calls to the screen from Delpeche. And he wants to show off his passing repertoire as well, and McGill will make it count, put an assist in the stat sheet and a triple to McGill's name.
3-point shooting has been, you know, everything in this game. Leicester started hot from the 3-point line, they took the lead. Newcastle got hot from the 3-point line, they came back again. You know, making those shots is so key for both teams.
And a 5-point lead now for the Newcastle Eagles as Bridges finds Pinson. Pinson trying to turn the corner, in fact, results in clearing it out to take a deep 3 off the front of the iron. Big offensive rebound for Thomas. And now McKenzie to the inside hand, bobbles over to the left. Eagles pushing forward. Another 3 lines up for Whitfield, and a rebound for Bridges. 7:20. As Holmes almost gets the and one to fall. Foul will be called on Whitfield there. 2 shots to come for Holmes.
You said Holmes has been quiet. He has. Leading scorer for Leicester. Barely said his name, have we? But look at the way Thomas seals off his man to give that lane to Holmes. And this is what he does, you know, finds a way to score. Sometimes not the most efficient, you know, he's not a pure shooter, the way some of the other guys are, but just finds a way to put the ball in the basket in so many different ways.
Well, the only way he's doing that tonight is on the free throw line. The stat sheet has been amended. It's only got 1 point to his name, which was the free throw he made just before the end of that second quarter. He's back on the line again, and nets the first of 2.
13.5 points a game, though. Leading scorer, as we said, for Leicester coming in. You know, as I said, you know, you don't look at him as a shooter. He's not exceptional from the three-point line, but he makes enough, can put the ball on the floor, can post a little, can cut off the ball. So it's just the ways in which he scores are so versatile that makes him, you know, such a tough cover.
3-point game now as Holmes converts both of those. McGill. Ward Hibbert sets the screen on Pinson. Flares out to the opposite side. Delpeche. Pretty tough screen there on Thomas. Re-screen now for Johnson. In fact, rejects the screen, skips across Whitfield in tough proximity there. He keeps it alive, though. And a rebound for Bridges.
Good defensive possession, Leicester. Good work from Pinson on the recovery, making Whitfield's life difficult.
Mackenzie, nice pump there. Josh Wood-Hibbert bites. Oh, a travel violation call.
I was watching the battle under the basket, if I'm honest. I didn't see that at all. You know, Newcastle giving up those post-ups, but do a good job fighting.
Let's see.
Yep. Yeah, it's a travel. The only problem I have with it is, but if we watch another offense, there'll be exactly the same call that isn't made.
Yeah.
You know, so it is a travel, 100%.
And just to explain to our viewers at home that are unsure about that, his pivot foot that he landed was lifted off the floor before Kimball Mackenzie could make contact with the floor with the ball. So in that case, you lift your pivot foot, you haven't bounced the ball, it's a travel. As McGill gets inside.
He's got the jumper going today, Ricky McGill, hasn't he? You know, it's something we haven't really seen so far this season at the level we expect from him. And if he starts to get that going, we talked about his defense, we talked about his ability to get downhill, and now the 3 and the pull-up as well.
Well, he was a prolific scorer in his previous time at, in the British Basketball League. You know, he had 17 points per game for the formerly called Plymouth Raiders. But Rob Paternostre has seen something here that he now needs to call a timeout and adjust.
You know, you said earlier the tempo was working for Newcastle, and I think it's got back to that. You know, they've been able to kind of play the game at their pace. They get out in transition when they've wanted, but when they've got into the half-court sets, you know, they've still... What happens to Newcastle sometimes, it feels like, is they almost run out of time. On the 24, it takes them too long to get into something, to get the first action. But they've been a bit quicker. They've been a bit more fluid into the first option. That's where when guys like Ricky McGill are making jump shots, it kind of just gives a better rhythm to what they're doing.
Shooter will be enjoying that. Giving his instructions, quote unquote, back in 5 and stay deep, Lloyd.
Yeah, I mean, he's talking about the defense, talks about Braden Bridges getting to his left hand as well. So kind of had a word with Delpeche, wasn't happy that, you know, Bridges was able to get to that finish that we talked about because, you know, he doesn't miss. You know, it's not like it's not much of an exaggeration. 23 from 26 coming in. He does not miss that lefty jump hook.
Thomas gets the ball in, that man-to-man full court press. Hasn't allowed the Riders to get the ball in play with ease, but nonetheless, they've made it work. Here's Bridges now. Comes off to Kimball Mackenzie. He'll fade away, and that's a tough shot from Mackenzie.
But that's his shot, and he loves to, I said it before, like the pull-up, his ability to get it away, so impressive.
Takes his tally to 9 points personal in this game. Here's McGill.
This is one where it's a bit slower from Newcastle.
And McGill, hand in his face, he'll knock that one down. Ricky McGill is on fire.
Well, it was not a great offense from Newcastle, but sometimes it doesn't matter. If you've got guys like Ricky McGill who can just make the play on their own.
Pinson skipped across. Holmes has had bags of space here And then dribbles into like a triple team and makes it difficult, but he's retreated here. Holmes, can he keep it in play? Yes, he can. He can find Mackenzie. Mackenzie gets the offense back into the hands, and Pinson fires up an incredibly deep three. I can't imagine Coach Rob Paternoster would have been happy if that didn't go.
Yeah, well, it wasn't the best shot, but they're winning plays from Holmes. You know, made the mistake on the offensive end. As you said, should have passed the ball to the open man, but didn't give up on it. Came back, got the steal, and it turns into 3 for his team.
McGill across to Whitfield. Back out, McGill's going to go from deep. Why not when you're hot? And he can't get that one to go. Pinson across to Thomas. Thomas for another reply for the Leicester Riders. And Coach Lloyd Garner's theory about this game continues to unfold as we get ready for a break. It's all about the threes.
All about the threes for both these two teams.
And it's time now to go to a break. We'll be back shortly with you. 4:43, 55 apiece on the board.
Hey, it's Taj Green here at Crep City, Newcastle. Let's go shopping and see what I find, but it's gonna be on Newcastle Eagles budget. I always wanted to hoop in these, but I feel like that'd be too heavy for me. There's always been a connection with basketballs and sneakers. I feel like, you know, it started with Jordan, and I feel like now just with the fashion and shoes, and it's worldwide. The best player to ever touch a basketball, behind me. This is gonna describe my whole team in one. Teamwork. If you think about it, we got a team full of players, real fast, athletic. This is Darius Defoe, man. He about business. If I could pick a shoe from this table, the Pandas, you know, you can wear those with anything. Like, I can fit in with anything. I just feel good, you know, being on the court because I'm still blessed to be able to play. And it's only year 2, so I feel like it's more years to come.
Well, ball back into play here for the Newcastle Eagles coming out after the break. All square, 55 apiece. And we wouldn't want it any other way between these two teams. McGill to the right hand, blocked away by Adowu. Spikes it off the glass. Mackenzie to Pinson, and they're looking for a foul here. Pinson thought he was interrupted on his leap towards the basket.
We didn't have the angle to see whether he was impeded, did we? We'll have to see that from a different one.
There it is. And I don't think so. Jordan Johnson's in a natural line of running, and he claims that space before Pinson comes across to it.
Agreed, agreed.
Xavier Pinson in this game. He's not done too badly. 11 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Trying to direct traffic for most of the game for the Riders. As Johnson fires up another 3. It's good to go.
Newcastle shooting the ball really well from 3 today.
9, should I say? Yeah, 9 for 17. That's Holmes. He'll fire up a 3. That's a long one, and fight for the rebound. Thomas does enough to take Larry Austin Jr. off his balance, and it goes out of bounds. Jordan Johnson trying to get attention of the floor wipers. Now, listen, this is not a gripe, but it is a gripe. We need to do better, floor wipers. I know there's a lot of volunteers and young people that help us out at the games, but it's not an easy job. As soon as things happen on the floor and it needs to be wiped, you've got to get out there and do it with conviction.
Already had one injury today for our officiating crew.
Yeah, miraculously recovered from it, by the way. Jordan Johnson inside, nice right-hand finish. Brilliant work from Jordan Johnson, and gives Newcastle another 5-point advantage.
I think this is where we're going to get the floor sorted, yeah. Great defense to offense from Newcastle there. Jordan Johnson, one-man fast break. I used to see that when he was in Glasgow. Often he'd come down on his own little left to right crossover, really kind of catch the defense snapping all the time. You know, it used to drive me nuts when I was in Manchester at the time. Big part of our scout, because he would love to come and push. You think you've got guys back, you just can't stop him though. And it was kind of similar to that one. Guys back, but you know, it's hard to stop him in an open floor.
Pinson, and that no-look pass needed a look as he throws it off the front of the rim. In the corner, Ricky McGill, he's hot. He's on fire. He has got the hot hand. 17 points personal for Ricky McGill. 4 for 6 from behind the arc.
I love the unselfish nature of Larry Austin, though. Didn't even think twice. Just moved it onto the hot hand to get him the open three.
Pinson screaming for the ball. He didn't get it. He does eventually and fires one up. And that's almost just to prove a point there. Really didn't need to take that shot. As now Larry Austin Jr. drives to the right hand, and all of a sudden, Newcastle Eagles, a 10-point lead.
Great third quarter from them. Leicester have had their woes in this third quarter. This was the difference in the game. They lost to Manchester. Manchester really had a big third quarter, especially getting out in transition, just the way we've seen from Newcastle.
Foul is called here, and Darius Defoe for a hit on the arm. Sideline possession now for the Leicester Riders. Defoe, you know what? He really does. He's 100% from the field, by the way, 2 for 2. But he does so much off the ball, and also in terms of the team ethic, to try and make sure that his team are around and in games and leading games.
I mean, it could be a misleading stat at times, but the plus-minus, right now, Darius Defoe, plus 21. So sometimes it doesn't work in that way, but Darius Defoe's team, prior to that basket, plus 21 points when he's on the floor. In a game which is, you know, relatively close right now, you can see the influence and how much better Newcastle have been when he has been out there.
I'm sure he's loving all the minutes as well. He won't love it tomorrow when they go to Bristol, but McGill there, unable to make it. As McKenzie finds Holmes, who's on the run, and he lays it in for 2. And Newcastle don't want Jaron Holmes to get himself going in this game. A timeout is called. They will talk it over. 65 to 59, 2:14 on the clock. Here's that pass from McKenzie. And Jaron Holmes out and running, finishing at the rim. And that is, I believe, his first made field goal of the game. I remember similarly, Kimball McKenzie, he must have been 0 for 13, I think it was against Plymouth. And then he turned it around and essentially made some plays to win them the game. It just talks about the importance of a player and making sure that you stay calm, stay composed, and stick to your game.
And it's also, it talks about, you know, we mentioned for Holmes, it's not all about scoring. You know, scoring's important, but those other plays. So the play where he drove, he didn't find the guy, but what did he do? Got back, got the steal for them in transition on the defensive end, and that led to 3 for Pinson. Same with McKenzie, you know, when McKenzie isn't playing well, but his poise, his passing ability, his defense on the ball, they're also massive pluses. So it isn't all about scoring, and the big thing for a player, sometimes that's what they fixate on as well. So if they can fixate on ways they can help their team to make winning plays, to win the game, knowing that sometimes that's through scoring, sometimes it's not. And then when you get that rhythm going through the other plays, that's when the scoring often comes late on, as it did for McKenzie against Plymouth. You know, as you said, he struggled early, but then got some late ones, really led him to victory in that game.
Some knowledge there for you from Coach Lloyd Garner, head coach of the Surrey Scorchers. Don't forget, they're in action this weekend as well, twice.
Tomorrow against Manchester, Sunday, tough trip to London.
It's all fun and games in the British Basketball League. And I'm sure you'd have it no other way. What a job to be in, professional head coach role. I'm sure many of us would love the opportunity, but oh, big another 3 once again.
Too many times the Newcastle guards have just beaten Leicester in one-on-one situations on this near side. Can remember 3 already in this second half.
Well, Newcastle haven't been great from the 3-point line across the season, as we've mentioned. incredible shooting tonight, shooting the lights out. Offensive foul called there, illegal block there from Samuel Idowu. That will be Leicester's third team foul, I believe. But right now, as it stands at this moment in time, 11 for 19 from downtown.
Yeah, but it's to do with the penetration. Look, same move again. You cannot let Jordan Johnson get to his right hand and reject the screen here. That's been the problem for Leicester. And then when they're in rotation, the passes give up threes.
Oh, the foul is called here. Idowu goes up to block that. 2 shots is to come. That would be 2 quick fouls for Idowu if it indeed called against him. I don't know if it'll be called on Myron Thomas. Both his hands on the opposing player's hip. 2 shots to come.
This dribble attack for Newcastle been too good in the third quarter for Leicester. Austin again, didn't get on his right hand on the baseline, but just came from the far side down the middle. Again, getting to the basket and finishing, or, like we said, drawing the help, finding the open man where they've been taking open threes.
Austin Jr. misses both of those.
Foul was on Thomas before.
And here comes Mackenzie. Idowu trying to find some room, mid-range jumper with the handle. Samuel Idowu.
Yeah, he's got that in his game, though. He's a real threat from the perimeter. As I said, this is the challenge for Defoe now to guard that pick and pop.
Johnson, another 3 for the Newcastle Eagles. He doesn't get it to fall, but he catches it back out on the 3-point line, and a foul is called. 3 free throws to come.
I think it's going to be a 2. I think his foot was on the line. It wasn't a great shot from Johnson, really. It's a silly foul for Leicester. And I said earlier in the game, Rob Paternostre does not like his team to commit bad fouls, and this may go on that list right here.
I do think it's going to be 3 free throws, even though his feet are on the line, but the official to your left corner actually signaled for 3 free throws. Maybe his teammate on the opposite baseline will change that if he's seen that, but I'm not sure if I'd count on it. Let's see what he signals here, the official. 2 more to come.
It's just, you don't like to criticize officials, but it's not even close. He had both feet on the line. It's an appalling call.
Johnson makes the second, gifted an opportunity here, Newcastle Eagles, to push themselves back into a 10-point lead. Don't forget, Riders started this game with a 14-point lead. And Johnson misses that one. Here's Larry Austin Jr. crossing it up to the left hand, another foul call.
Again, it's the dribble penetration, though. Leicester haven't been able to contain Austin. They haven't been able to contain Johnson. They haven't been able to contain McGill either off the drive.
Here it is, between the legs to the left. And called for that one. As Austin Jr. takes the first. Of course, he misses last 2. He'll be looking to make amends here. And if he makes this one, it'll be the biggest lead in this game for the Newcastle Eagles with 11 points. And there it is, 11-point game, 45 on the clock.
What a third quarter this has been for Newcastle. With all the adversity, guys being out, exceptional basketball from them here.
Bowman, he's off the dribble and the foul is called there. Josh Ward-Hibbert lovingly giving him a hug. You can't do that whilst the ball is in play, unfortunately. And he's looking surprised.
It's because they've awarded 2 shots. That's what he doesn't like. So he tried to commit the foul on the floor. He's saying that, the foul is here on the dribble. That's where he thinks it is. But,
he's there. Yeah. Well, there is a foul beforehand, but the referee's called the foul later on in the play.
I agree. I think the officials, bar the 3-point shot, I think they've been dead on these last couple of calls.
Bowman, he goes 2 for 2 on that occasion. And he's got 4 points personal in this game in just over 7 minutes of gameplay for him tonight. There's Johnson now. Yeah, you're right, this 3-guard combo, they're really struggling with it. Defoe out to Johnson, he's driving, penetrating, floating the ball up high, kept alive now for the Riders. Mackenzie's going to go all the way to the left hand. Smart play from Mackenzie, taking it straight to the defender. Can it be kept alive here? That's out of bounds. And it is a Newcastle ball. And 2.2 seconds remaining. Riders cannot allow for Newcastle to score the ball here on a quick, easy look. And they'll hold it in, and that is the end of the call. We'll be back to a break, and we're with you shortly.
Back to 7, and oh, Sharma! Have mercy!
Yeah, Anderson needs to heave it from miles out. Oh, Jamal Anderson, are you kidding me?
And he knows it. He's big smile, rainbow shot right at the last second.
Great pass, but even better defense.
Oh my goodness! That one would have been a highlight reel.
Just like baby, I've been joining forces with the likes of an A-team. Jumping off of buildings with the stimulation. Now I'm reaching new heights. I'ma need the off-white. Lights, camera, action, we ready to roll. Alright, places, everybody, let's put on a good show. Big time!
Third quarter issues for the Leicester Riders once again. It's 30-22 in the third quarter. It's also in Manchester where they collapsed in the third quarter before taking the loss on the road. But without a doubt, Riders have the artillery to get back into this game, and it is much closer than it was in Manchester. The ball goes out of bounds, and that's not how they're going to do it. 72-65 here at the beginning of the fourth quarter. And of course, we'll be starting to have those MVP discussions very shortly. Let us know your thoughts in the chat. Who do you think should be tonight's game MVP?
Right now, we've talked a lot of offense, we've talked a lot of three-point shooting, but this fourth quarter is all about Newcastle's defense. If they can put together another strong defensive quarter, they win this game comfortably. The offense doesn't really matter too much for them.
Austin Jr. That is knocked away by Thomas. I don't know if you could hear some of the fans in the background there saying, drive him, drive him. And we've been talking a lot about that because it's been pretty difficult to stop Newcastle Eagles getting to the basket.
That's one he's got to find somebody, though. Drew, the second defender. And I think there was an open man that Larry Austin could have got it to.
Jordan Johnson trying to back down Kimball Mackenzie. Guard and guard paint. Paint work is an interesting viewing.
Little guys playing big, wasn't it? Banging it around in the post.
You've got to be able to do it all, you know.
Yeah. Oh, and they're two guys that definitely can. That's for sure.
Well, I had a coach once, Dave Harris. You might remember Dave Harris. We used to come into practice, and every practice was teaching us how to do post moves. And that's because our team were all 6 foot and under. So, you know, you've got to learn how to do these things at some point. Oh, offensive foul has been called. There, McKenzie hits the deck, and what will happen here is Newcastle fans might be a little outraged because they may think this looks like a flop, but let's have a look here. McKenzie, and that's a debatable drop to the floor by McKenzie, but it seems to have worked in his favour. It's going to be tense atmosphere here at the Virtu Motors Arena for the neutral fan. If you watch British basketball, you want this to go 1-1 in the series between these two teams. There's lots to play for, but after today's events, I'm sure they won't need any more motivation going into this as McKenzie drains the corner three, feet set, knockdown.
They're not ready for 1-1 yet. We've still got 8.5 minutes left of a great game here. You know, we want a couple more of them for Leicester for it to be a tight game. Great basketball from them. Excellent short roll, good pass out from Braylon Bridges.
Well, Newcastle have cut their 11-point lead. Another offensive foul here. Defoe screams at the referee, and nothing said, but Riders will get the ball back, and McKenzie's involved again here. And, oh, I don't know about that. McKenzie has kind of flailed on that action, but it's a good screen from Defoe.
You know, my take is you've got Darius Defoe, who you know, generally sets some questionable ball screens at times, and Kimball McKenzie, who is not afraid of going down. So that's the perfect storm with those two together. You know, that time I think Kimball probably got away with it a little, but you know, I'm surprised Defoe with the little throw of the arms. Nothing said from the referee with that one as well.
Remember, they've reached their technical quota for the day. A ball across now, Larry Oster Jr. He's going to drive baseline again, slaps the backboard on that one. Rebound for Josh Ward-Hibbert.
Didn't hit the ring, so shot clock winding down.
6 seconds on it. Johnson inside, Josh Ward-Hibbert airballs the layup, gets it up again, and that is a shot clock violation. The ball did not hit the ring.
Twice though, Newcastle got downhill again, got to the basket. They just missed the opportunities. Austin got one, then you know, good pass for Ward-Hibbert to get one as well.
But Leicester doing a better job of protecting the rim there, right? More bodies at the rim.
Absolutely, and you know, you've got to gamble on something, right? So right now you've got to stop the drive and hope that Newcastle aren't able to find the shooters or aren't able to knock down the three ball.
McKenzie off the dribble now into Bridges, kicks it out. Asbury rotation. McKenzie fakes it inside, floats it, can't get it. Whitfield pushing forward. Short jumper for Whitfield. Easy as you like.
Good ball movement again from Leicester. You know, the Bridges on that little short roll has been really good.
Inside Holmes, and one is good to go. Nice work for Jaron Holmes, making it work for the Leicester Riders. Chance to close the gap once more.
Yeah. And Leicester aren't happy. The previous play, they thought that Defoe got away with one as well. Clear foul, despite his frustrations and slamming the ball on the floor and walking to the referee. But that one looked like a foul, you know, and as I said, I think that, you know, McKenzie was hot on the previous possession, felt that the defender went underneath him when he was shooting the ball as well. It's a 4-point game here, we said, long time to go. Leicester have regained their composure really nicely.
Jaron Holmes with a chance to take it to a 3-point game. 3 for 4 on the free throw line. And there it is. This one is far from over. 7 minutes to go. Sit tight. Delpesh. Johnson. In and out dribble. Now sneaks it to Delpesh. Nice baseline cut there from Ricky McGill.
A really good pass from Delpesh. It's not something he usually does, that, you know, catches it on the roll, able to make the pass. You know, it looks like an easy skill, but it's definitely not.
Pinson. Which is Bridges' screen, and Jaron Holmes has found room on the opposite side, and coming across there's McGill. He's kept it in play here for the Eagles. Riders really need to stop here as Johnson bursts with speed to the basket, and one is the call.
What did I tell you? The left to right crossover in transition when guys are back. That's the play I was talking about earlier. He gets it so often, Jordan Johnson. Just full speed, crosses over, all right? But, you know, good work from Newcastle on the glass as well. You know, competing there, and here he goes. Kind of just crosses over, beats you, and he's so good at finishing at the rim.
There you have it. Jordan Johnson now got 20 points to his name. He's reached his quota for the night. And he makes it. There's the three-point play from the Eagles. Big possession now for the Riders. Thomas, nice crossover between the legs, and the foul is called. Foul will be called on Whitfield. And 2 shots come now for the Riders. Yes, it will.
Just had a quick look at the foul trouble. The one thing we didn't notice, Defoe's gone out because he's got 4. So he picked up the one. You know, that's why Delpesh has come back in. You know, an exceptional job for Jordan Johnson to be out there right now, still with only 3 fouls. So he'll be able to finish this game. Important couple of minutes here, probably 2 minutes for Delpesh, bring Defoe back in. The other side for Leicester don't really have anybody apart from Caleb Asprey with the 4.
And there is 2 for 2 for Myron Thomas. A stop is what the Riders need. And Newcastle, they have possession with McGill. Delpesh. Hand off from McGill to Johnson. He's calling for the screen here. McGill's got room, driving all the way, and he was looking for the contact there, Caleb Asprey. Now with Holmes. Off the dribble, Holmes has found Pinson. Pinson's feet is set, and that is nothing but net for Xavier Pinson. And back to a 3-point game.
8 threes between Pinson and Thomas here today. Both have shot the ball so well. That's kept Leicester in this one.
Oh, Larry Austin Jr. to the left hand. He's enjoying himself.
Asprey's scared of the fouls, doesn't want to foul out. Austin is not the man you want to guard when you're in foul trouble.
Thomas. Asprey. He's going to go one-on-one with Johnson here. Caleb Asprey could have found a better opportunity. Horns, action call from Johnson. Behind the back, nice ball movement to Whitfield, and Johnson had a little bit of room, goes downhill, fumbles it a little bit. Ricky McGill, can he do it again? Yes, he can! Voto Mutas Arena is bouncing. Ricky McGill knocks it down for his 25th point of the game. And it's time to take a break. We'll be back very, very shortly.
Hey, it's Taj Green here at Crep City, Newcastle. Let's go shop and see what I find, but it's gonna be on Newcastle Eagles budget. I always wanted to hoop in these, but I feel like that'd be too heavy for me. There's always been a connection with basketballs and sneakers. I feel like, you know, it started with Jordan, and I feel like now just with the fashion and shoes, and it's worldwide. The best player to ever touch a basketball, behind me. This is gonna describe my whole team in one. Teamwork. If you think about it, we got a team full of players, real fast, athletic. This is Darius Defoe, man. He about business. If I could pick a shoe from this table, the Pandas, you know, you can wear those with anything. Like, I can fit in with anything. I just feel good, you know, being on the court because I'm still blessed to be able to play. And it's only year 2, so I feel like it's more years to come.
Well, just under 5 minutes remaining here at the Virtu Motors Arena. Newcastle Eagles look like they have the advantage in this one. And we're just taking a quick look at the stats. When recruiting the three guards, Larry Austin Jr., McGill, and Jordan Johnson, Holmes fires up the corner three, that's big. But when recruiting those three guards, you'd hope for them to put points on the board, and they haven't all collectively done that so far this season. Until this point, they're combined for 61 points.
Some great performances from those guys tonight. There's still a long way to go, though. 4 minutes, that's an offensive foul, yeah. Good defense from Pinson that time. You know, Leicester's still there. They're hanging around well enough right now. So this is an experienced, you know, Leicester team as a whole. Even though they've got some young guys out there, they know how to win.
And also team foul trouble now for the Newcastle Eagles for the remaining 4 minutes of action. You know, the old school mentality is just get to that basket, draw those fouls.
I wonder how long it's going to be before Defoe comes back into the game.
Here's Pinson now moving the ball right side with Asprey. Pinson looking for his next option. Thomas now looks to go one-on-one with Whitfield, getting all the way to that basket, and what a wonderful finish from Myron Thomas.
Beautiful move. We've seen everything from him today. Scored on a post-up, hit the three ball consistently, and now getting to the rim as well. 3-point game once more.
Crowds trying to get behind their team in the corner. Whitfield. That's a real tough denial there from Jaron Holmes. He doesn't want Johnson to get that ball.
He doesn't want to foul here with low clock, though.
And Johnson gets it off eventually, but good defense from Jaron Holmes.
Really good individual defense.
And here he is, opposite side of the floor, and it's just a little bit too far away. Didn't really read that pass, Caleb Asprey.
As you said, a great defense from Holmes, and they're the plays we talked about before, the winning plays. You know, even though he hasn't shot the ball as well as he usually does tonight, you know, helping his team defense now.
That's the 18th turnover from the Leicester Riders tonight. Inside Delpeche, putting Thomas on a poster. Malcolm Delpeche throwing it down.
Great feed on the little pocket pass there to find him.
I can't help but think that the arena didn't appreciate that play as much as I did. Jaron Holmes now for three in that softer side of the ring, and Asprey tries to get a hand on Johnson there. Gets his hands out quickly because he knows he's on four. In the corner here, Ricky McGill almost there, gets that to go. Delpeche with the offensive rebound, kicks it out Johnson. And there is the foul for Asprey, and he will have to head to the bench. His night is done. He's done well, 2 minutes 24 on the clock.
Yeah, you know, you've got to think these last three possessions for Leicester haven't been good enough. Poor pick and roll defense. They give up the, you know, the roll right down the middle for Delpeche to get a dunk. Not a great shot there on the offensive end. A little bit too quick for them. And then here, Asprey picking up the cheap foul as well.
Well, we of course saw all of that content put out around Asprey and how he talks in the game as a foul is called here on Holmes for a hold. And that's no doubt going to fire up the Newcastle Eagles players. In fact, here's a fun fact, giving some insight into it. I believe the Newcastle Eagles were asked to mic up one of their players and they said no. And Asprey then took the opportunity to do that, talked it up. That couldn't be looking like too bad a decision should Eagles come out on top here. But I do love those nice little pieces, you know. Of course, Coach Lloyd Garnett giving his card close to his chest, rightly so. Inside, and Thomas with the jam.
I'm still watching this one because Leicester are not going away.
They're not going away at all, Lloyd. This is going to be a tense finish.
Yeah.
The other game is probably a blowout right now between London and Sheffield, so welcome if you've just joined us.
Same play for Newcastle, trying to get Delpeche on that pick and roll again.
Oh, ankle breaker. McGill to the corner. Three ball. Can he finish it? Yes, he can. And that is a big play right there for the Eagles. Timeout call. McGill says, let me take those ankles off of you. Whitfield in the court had to finish that play.
Yeah, great pass, wasn't it?
Here he is. Whoopsie daisy. Touch Mother Earth. In the corner, Whitfield, click, click, bang. McGill making it happen. Oh, damn. I'm surprised there's no ligament damage there for Thomas. 1:41 remaining, though. 6 points in it.
Let's not forget, for Newcastle, you know, last game only a few days ago against London, very similar circumstances. Big lead, you know, protecting that game. And then what happens? London come with a little 3-point barrage to get themselves back in. Probably not as much time, but, you know, there's still, surely that's in the back of their mind right now, and that's something that Leicester can play on.
Well, there's Del Pesh. He had a highlight of his own here as Thomas rised up. And Del Pesh stuck it on him. Tapping his head, of course, as is customary now when he dunked the ball, Lloyd. He has done much better in this second half, Del Pesh, much more effective.
Yeah, and he's meant that Defoe hasn't been needed to come back into the game. You know, I like the pass that found him. You know, Del Pesh, for me, he did the easy part, right? Roll to the rim, all he had to do was jump in the air and dunk it. The pass was beautiful, on the money, and a well-designed play from Coach Stutzel to get him the ball there.
Holmes into McKenzie. Important 1.5 minutes of basketball coming up. Idowu's into the game. McKenzie driving, nice finish over the defender.
I like the play call from Coach Paternostro. Pick and pop for Idowu, knowing what a great three-point shooter is. That's how McKenzie got the lane, because Del Pesh had to stick with Idowu, worried about the three.
McGill looking for the roll. In fact, finds room on the free throw line and finishes again. McGill is having one hell of a game.
He's been so good today. What a difference that jump shot makes for Ricky McGill. Same play for Leicester.
Pinson, now he finds Idowu. Idowu will shoot this time. And that's a miss there with under a minute to go. 6 points is the difference. It's not unheard of. Important defensive possession for the Riders, just as equally as important it is for the Newcastle Eagles to close out this game here. Jordan Johnson shaking, trying to find a good look, and enough done there by Jaron Holmes. He's out running. Pinson gets the ball. Riders need the ball on the floor as soon as possible. They need to get a good look here at the basket. Pinson, double tap, trying to find room. Big shot for Pinson. That's an incredible play from Xavier Pinson. Double tap between the legs, step back, boom.
Needed a score. A three was ideal, and that's exactly what Pinson did. You know, it's one of those, you kind of shut your eyes, but you also look at the numbers and you go, well, he's 4 for 6 for 3. I think he's entitled to take a tough one because he's made them all night long.
Superb handle there and superb reading of the defender. Whitfield had opened his body up and he could definitely see that he was being allowed to take that lane to the basket, but one hard dribble to create the space, to create the room, and as you said, with his shooting ability tonight, it's good to go. One person's shooting ability that you pointed out to me, of course, was Ricky McGill. Before this game, Lloyd, he'd only made 1 3.
Yeah, and incredible. He said, you know, the jump shot for Ricky McGill and how it's changed the game. Coming to this one, shooting 1 of 13 from beyond the three-point line. Previous tonight, to here, 6 of 10. You know, and it's not only the 6 threes, he's hit a number of those little long pull-ups as well on his way to 27, and a great individual performance from Ricky McGill.
Well, now's your last chance. Get those MVP votes in on the YouTube channel chat. We want to know what you think. At this moment in time, Newcastle win. This is going in McGill's favour without a doubt.
Oh, absolutely. But long time to go right now. Let's not get carried away.
Let's not get carried away at all.
But the question is, if you're Newcastle, do you go anywhere but Ricky McGill right now?
And if you're Rob Paternostro, where do you go right now? Well, they've advanced the ball here.
I still think that pick and pop with Idowu is the play for Leicester. Get Idowu a shot. If not, you can get your guards downhill.
Apologies. Riders haven't advanced the ball. Of course, it was the made 3, and they're not looking to foul here because there's plenty of time on the clock. They just want to get a good stop if they can, and then a foul is eventually called by McKenzie. They've got fouls to give. That's the one they did have to give.
Yeah, and that's one. You burn it early because now you've got the option of if you want to use it. They probably wanted to get it a little bit earlier if they could.
Yeah, and smart foul there from McKenzie. Hand up straight away. And let's find out what the Eagles are going to do here in this.
The other thing is, you know, Malcolm Del Pesh on the floor, not a particularly great free throw shooter. So the question is, if he gets it, do you foul him, put him on the line?
No foul there. Rob Paternoster. Oh, and Mackenzie calls it there, and he has fouled the man with the hot hand, Ricky McGill. He's 3 for 4 on the free throw line tonight. 2 massive free throws coming up now.
17 of 25 on the season, 68%. He said, you know, you've got to be feeling it if you're Ricky McGill right now. Loving this trip to the line.
Down, there you go. Nothing but net on the first. Newcastle Eagles fans on their feet, rightly so. McGill to give Newcastle a 2-play advantage. There it is, 5-point game. Here we go, Riders. What have you got now with Pinson? Driving all the way to the rack. Pinson, he goes for 2. And now, 13.7.
They need a steal. They can't trade twos. You can't trade the free throws.
And it's almost a steal there, Whitfield. And the foul isn't coming quick enough for the Riders here. Whitfield gets it over. McGill is hit on the head, and he's going to go to the line again. You can't help but think that these 2 free throws could seal the deal now for the Newcastle Eagles.
Just trying to remember back to the game clock when it was scored, because, you know, it's the question is, how close was it to an 8-second violation there? And did Leicester kind of go through those seconds hoping to get the 8-second violation, and then they weren't able to finish it off, committed the foul right at the last second.
Here goes McGill. Chance again. He makes the first.
The trouble with going for the 2, as good as it was to get a quick one, it's an easy free throw. You know, he needs 1 of 2 really to make it the 2-possession game, rather than needing the pair. There's a lot more pressure on it.
McGill. And that will give him his 30th point of the night. A timeout has been called. And I think the camera cuts away there, but I think that there was a foul committed in order for that timeout to be called.
Or I think they inbounded it and Austin stole it, but luckily the timeout had been called, so the inbound didn't even count. Yeah. So Leicester will take this one. They'll advance the ball. They'll need a quick 3. They've got enough time to foul, you know, get up and foul or get a steal. But the question is, they've got to hit a 3, and then they won't have any more timeouts, so they've got to go full length of the floor with probably 2 or 3 seconds.
Well, Paternostro's got to draw something special up. Let's see.
Myron's here, Sam's here. All right? Coming hard off him, the next one. Sam, you pop as well, all right? You got to take a quick shot. It's got to be a quick shot. And then we're up. I got to do more timeout. Remember, the clock stops when it goes in. We got time to get up. Hey, defend no
Okay. You hear it there. They've got to get a quick shot off. And then, of course, when the basket, if the basket is good, then they've got a split second to get up on their defensive assignments and try and get a steal for the Riders. And at that point, a 2-point will take it to overtime. It's easier said than done, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, but stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
You know, even with this, if they can hit a 3 off the catch, you know, a couple of seconds there, commit a quick foul for another second, they'll have, you know, the chance to grab a rebound and go for a heave. But the important thing is they need a 3 right now. Well, they've got to make this jumper.
Let's see how this all unfolds right here, live on the British Basketball League YouTube channel. Thomas fires up the 3, and that is way off. And Kimmel McKenzie pleading for a foul. They ain't gonna get it. 3.4 on the clock. Rob Paternoster in disbelief as the ball goes into play here. That is the end of an incredible game. Newcastle Eagles snap the losing streak and take victory over the Leicester Riders at the 2nd attempt of trying. Mark Struthel will be elated and his team will be elated. Lloyd.
Oh, what a game. What a series this is shaping up to, right? These two against each other. We had it all. We had the passion, the fights, the ejections. Great individual play on both teams and a close ending as well.
Well, let's take a look at your player of the game. 31 points personal It's Mr. Ricky McGill, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. Tell us about his game tonight, Lloyd.
Yeah, absolutely. Ricky McGill, player of the game, no doubt about it. A really strong performance from him. You know, he's played well through this season, but, you know, just hasn't got that jump shot going. Today we saw the Ricky McGill we knew from the Plymouth Raiders, a guy that could knock it down from the outside as well, and it was a tough cover for Leicester all night.
This win obviously takes a load of pressure off Mark Stutzel and his players going into their next game. You know, how is it in these moments? What can now happen for the Eagles?
Yeah, momentum's a massive thing. You know, great bounce back from them after a good performance. As we said against London on Monday, they would have some frustration for that, but they've got the win over Leicester now. And now the challenge for them is what? They've got to turn around in less than 24 hours, get to the other end of the country to play against Bristol. You know, and really, as stupid as this sounds, the fact that Will Neighbour and Taj Green have got a good rest, maybe that's going to help them tomorrow, because they've got 2 fresh bodies they probably wouldn't have had at this stage if they had been out there for the whole game.
Well, they're taking their shoes off, they're stretching down. It's time to take a look at the stats from tonight's game on your screens right now, and there you have it. What a night from behind the arc for the Newcastle Eagles. They were in terrible shooting form from behind the three-point line. To be exact, it was 27.8%. Tonight, 54% from three-point territory.
Yeah, I think if you'd said one team's going to come in and make 13 threes at over 50%, there'd have been a lot of money going on the Leicester Riders for the way that they've shot the ball and the way that Newcastle haven't, and that's the way the game changed. Newcastle's ability to knock it down today is something we haven't seen with them through this young season. If they can consistently shoot the ball that way, you know, they're going to really hit the heights that we expected from them in pre-season.
And talking about small details here, turnovers, 18 to 15 turnovers, 9 to 5 steals. In fact, it was the Riders who capitalized more from turnovers with 23 points, but those 16 points that the turnovers were converted into points, should I say, for the Newcastle Eagles, that was important too.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Newcastle, again, they'll look at it, say they've given up 90 points to Leicester, but I think the Riders will be frustrated giving up 95. You know, it puts so much pressure on the offensive end when you're giving up close to triple digits.
Well, let's take a look at more action coming up for you this weekend. And if it's anything like tonight's action, you won't want to miss it. Of course, there's the scores for you. 87-91, Manchester Giants fell at home to the Flyers. Newcastle Eagles have defeated the Leicester Riders on the second time of trying, 95-90. Sheffield Sharks took their first loss at their new arena at the hands of the London Lions. Tomorrow, double trouble. Surrey Scorchers, coach Lloyd Garner and his boys will take on the Manchester Giants at 5 o'clock. And the Bristol Flyers will take on now a tired Newcastle Eagles who have just fought for victory here tonight at 8 o'clock. On Sunday, 3 o'clock, Caledonia Gladiators versus the Sharks. 4:30, Lions versus the Surrey Scorchers. And at 6 o'clock, it's the Plymouth City Patriots on the road against the Cheshire Phoenix. Well, there you have it, live on the British Basketball League YouTube channel. It's been a great night, and as we can see, Taj Green back on the court after being ejected. As Lloyd mentioned, it'll be fresh body for him and Will Neighbour for tomorrow. Make sure you don't miss it. Live and direct on the British Basketball League YouTube channel on behalf of the league. It's myself, Ty Hadgett, and Lloyd Garner, and we wish you all a very good night.